Got this fuel pressure regulator for my LH. I'm using the stock in-tank fuel pump. This is my old one. Yeah, so pressure and drain. This hose clamp here in the middle, I would tighten it down to create a restriction in that hose, and it would boost my pressure up. Just a manual orifice, basically. That worked okay, but it would change with like wide open throttle to idle. So this should keep me at a constant 12 or 15 psi is kind of what I'm hoping for. Just gotta find a good spot to mount it here. Something like that in the fender. Nice and close to the lines. And we should be good. There it is. Got it plumbed in. So hooking up this stuff here, I've got the inlet to the filter. This is the outlet to the filter, so the return. There's a T on the return. Goes to the bottom of this regulator. And then I have the pressure coming out the side. And then from this goes down to the fuel pump, which is right there. And then the return is right beside it. There's 4 steel lines that come up, and I have them just looped like that. Down there, I think it's just evap emission stuff. It's been running like that for 2 years. So now I finally have a regulator. I have a gauge here after the filter just to check pressure. And there's about well, I'll show you. I'll just turn the key on. I have the fuel pump wired to come on with the oil pressure. So I just have my oil pressure switch jumped to ground. That triggers the relay over there to turn everything on that I want on with oil pressure. So this is reading 20. And then that guy there is like 34. But when it's running, it's down about 16 on this gauge here, which is after the filter. There's also this vacuum port that's hooked up. I have it just teed into a vacuum line there. You probably don't need this, but I figured it'll just be cleaner. Won't get any dirt in there if I leave it open or something. Just adjust it right here. In is more. This pump in the Toyota will put out just about 50 pounds deadheaded. So it should be pretty good. I'm going to be pulling the motor out here shortly, but it needs a rebuild. But yeah, there's now my fuel system. And this is just the Jetta filter and mount. And then just goes to the pump how it normally would. Yeah, normally there's a vacuum on these lines because there's no lift pump in the Jetta. So when you put 20 pounds or 15 pounds of pressure here, it might leak. So you're just gonna have to watch that when you do this. Because I have had one of these pop off before. Just spray fuel everywhere. Yeah, that's kind of a overview of my fuel system here. Pretty straightforward. That H block worked pretty good. If you were just gonna keep it stock power levels, I wouldn't even bother with one of these. I'd just run that H return system. I think you would be fine. But because I'm tuning it and I want a precise fuel pressure at all times, I got a regulator. It's kind of a mess in here, but everything works as it's supposed to, which is nice. Any questions, leave them in the comments and I could probably, hopefully answer them for you. I'm curious to check the pressure after I put in a new fuel filter. This one's been in here for a year, so when I go to do that, I will document it. And then this one can come out because this is really supposed to go in here. And I can take this gauge off, but with a new filter. And I can get stuff situated a little nicer. It's just for testing purposes.